On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, Okita finally gets a rank up. Is it worth it? I don't know, you tell me. Also, there's a Halloween rerun, and, well, it's not a rerun, but there's a thing going on in JP now, which is not a new event, per se. What does it mean? All this and more on Let's Talk FGO. Hi, I'm one of your hosts. I am Bat Ears Omega. With me, as always, Lucky Giant Robot Pilot.
Everyone, I hope you are enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Batty's Big Blunder. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for the JP and EN version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers, should yell daishouri.
You know, thinking about it, I probably should have come up with a Godzilla reference, but because this event has happened like 4 times since we've been doing this show, I think I used all the good ones.
Maybe.
Yeah, I definitely would have done like a space Liz reference in there.
I'm pretty. I might have. One of us might have got called Mecha Godzilla at one point.
Definitely did like a Mecha Godzilla. Did I reference? Probably didn't do King Ghidorah, but that's also not really. The 3 heads thing's not really relevant right now. Anyway,
I don't know. I could have been Atomic Breath, Lucky.
True, that probably could have worked. Okie day. Anyway, that's our thing we do. We done the intro. We waited a little bit. Now is the time where I remind everybody that the episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHarp, Ohio Comics, Architect 10, Blacklist OG, Carlos, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Rogue Robin, Shiny P, Some Guy Named Bob, Soda Son of Artifer, 723, and Zach Reed. If you like what we do and want to see some more, consider supporting Patreon. You can get access to episodes early, lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you. Chunky.
Yeah, I remembered this month, I've already posted the Patreon poll. Today. It's up. We'll go for 2 weeks. We'll talk more about that later.
On fire!
Should we just jump into... Yeah, I'll say that other stuff for kind of general. Well, I don't know. I remember how I said I got a couple of, like, businessy notes from last show. I don't know if I should bring those up now or later, because I might forget them later.
I'll do it now.
Okay, well, just a couple of things. Speaking of the Patreon poll, did get some comment feedback on that. There was one guy who read it a lot, but I assume he was mostly joking. Some of them were definitely jokes, but also a lot of them we had already covered or have no need to cover. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I would like to remind everybody that we're trying to focus on topics that are relevant to FGO or at least Fate, and not get ahead of ourselves if maybe certain things might be relevant later. Possibly, we don't know. And honestly, some stuff I don't know if it'll be relevant. Like a couple of people have been asking about angels. I haven't put that on the list yet. Maybe next month because we only have one option. Because that's a thing that's discussed kind of in case files, but it's in the parts that aren't animated. So that's going to be a little weird for me. But also, I got to be honest, I don't know if that's ever going to come back. I don't know if that'll ever be Fate relevant.
Actually, well...
What's up? What you got?
Well, you mentioned angels. Have you ever discussed dead ancestors in length?
No, we have not talked about vampires per se, because dead apostles and all that, because that is normally a Tsukihime thing. There might be some vampire stuff that comes up when it much like talking about lost belts, grand servants, etc. When that maybe becomes relevant, we'll put that on the list. That's what I'm saying. Like some
that's what I mean. It's like there's references in case files, and it's also been referenced in Strange Fake. So
yeah, vampires in general come up a couple of times, but they're not usually plot relevant. I think Nasu just likes to remind everybody that he wrote a vampire visual novel first and remembers it exists. And everybody's like, you don't need to tell us, we're waiting for Tsukihime remake. But there may be some more vampiric stuff that will actually directly be involved with FGO. That'll probably be a good time to spring that question to the list. But yeah, so that was my first bit. The second thing was, I mentioned this off mic to Lucky, but somebody did actually drop us a line about a couple of cool things with arcade. One, apparently there are arcade machines that have capture cards plugged right in, including instructions on what to do with like a USB stick to save the footage. That's super cool.
Oh, that's neat.
And if we ever go to Japan, I will definitely have to take a thumb drive and capture some arcade footage. Yeah, so that's super cool. The other thing was somebody mentioned that technically mana recovery is, while everybody on the internet assumed it is, mana recovery is not a one-to-one with skill cooldown. It actually has to do with a stamina type effect that arcade has, because arcade's gameplay is more 3D. So it's, you use the mana bar for evading and sprinting.
Okay.
And then you get its recovery, it recovers faster, I guess. So That could translate directly to skilled cooldown with get stuff back faster, but it could also be like a team evade or some other effects that we don't know. It's one of those definite, not a direct translator, so we'll have to see what happens. But all right, that's been enough of our pre-show business show.
Business show.
It's now time to check in with everybody's favorite. Oh hi, Mesh.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for pro tips. I only came up with a simple one. Monthly login materials are Magatama, Fangs, and Chains. Definitely gonna appreciate those Magatamas.
I think I'm lowest on chains at the moment, so I'll probably be picking mostly those.
Chains are a bronze mat, so you tend to use them by the literal dozens. So I would not be surprised. All of them are decent. I think Japan also is doing Magatama, but they're doing other stuff too. But yeah.
They're busy.
There you go. There's your thing to keep an eye out for. I don't really have any other secret pro tips about what's coming up this month or anything. Just pick your mats wisely, plan ahead. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and move into Records from the Throne, a regular achievement topic. So first off, everybody's going to ask, how many boxes did we do? I did 15 boxes. And I want to say about that, in those last couple days, I did switch to farming currency because there were actually quite a few mats from the shop that I wanted, like giant rings and other stuff. If I'd stayed purely on tickets, I probably could have gotten 20, 25 boxes easily, but I've switched my priority, so I was not one of those many people who went crazy. I had other shit to do in my life. I could have gotten farther, but I was doing other stuff. I know some people, got 50 boxes, or some people got 150. Good on you if you had the time. And if you're maybe one of those people who has other stuff to do sometimes, you don't need to feel bad, because other people had stuff to do and didn't do as many boxes. Also, Fran is now NP5, thanks tickets. By the way, this was today, because I've been busy a lot in the evening and was trying to do stuff, so I had not, actually remembered to buy them and roll my tickets. So on the 10th rate up, Fran Spook. But she's NP5 now, so thanks tickets.
Yeah. For Lucky, not too much different. I completed 28 boxes, and Sanson and Paracelsus Smiles have been protected. Lucky is trying to finally work back through his backest of backlogs. Paracelsus was done because people have not shut up to me about his NP gain after his rank up. So I was like, fine. I'll do it. Leave me alone. But this boy is gonna need some mats, as usual. It never ends. It never fucking ends. And speaking of things that never fucking end, this week we actually do have an entry for Not All the World's Evil, but damn close. Guess who? It's Lucky, as usual. And it is simply as follows. And everything that was happening during the event, and in life, and in general, Lucky forgot to do the main quest for Guildfest, for the Grail. Yeah. Lucky realized that at 2 a.m. after maintenance had ended. And things got dark fast. He got real upset real quick. He might have got a little spicy in the Discord. But there are clearly people who are better than me in said Discord, and they were very kind to inform me that actually, shockingly, next year's Guildfest will actually have a rerun of the main event from this year's Guildfest. So there is a chance to recover said Grail.
Yeah, the festival events are one of those weird, 1.5 reruns.
Yeah, because usually they don't give you this chance, but...
Yeah, kinda, because they'll do the... Next year they will repeat the same exhibition quests, but also have new ones. I think Neurofest went on that schedule for 2 years. It had the old ones and then new ones. And this one actually has main story, so yeah, you'll be able to repeat the 2 quests that are story, but also... Ishtar shows up or something. It's a little weird how they do it, but yeah, that'll be good that you can get back your Grail. Mm-hmm. That means Lucky missed out on the really fun thing that happens in that quest, where you get to pick in your dialogue which guild you fight.
Oh, really?
It asks you. You hear laughter, kuhaha, and you're like, gasp! Is that Gilgamesh, or gasp! Is that Gorgeous P? And yes, this is on the wiki, verified by people in the Discord. If you pick Gilgamesh, it's Archer Gil. If you pick Gorgeous P, it's Caster Gil in his summer outfit. Mm-hmm. It's a fun little thing.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Alrighty, well, let us go ahead and really quickly roll into, did you finish your master missions? Yeah, these are pretty simple. These aren't even do the event tier. These are do anything tier. I'm gonna need you to defeat 5 Sabers or Casters, defeat 5 Archers or Assassins, defeat 5 Lancers, Riders, or Berserkers, defeat 10 Servants, defeat 20 Servants, excuse me, got a little burpy, not defeat 30 friend point summons. No, do 30 friend point summons. So yeah, pretty basic. It's not, like I said, not even do the event, just do anything.
Stuff.
But also do the event. The event will do it really easy, because they've got all kinds of classes and servants and stuff.
Do the event just so you can get your other mecha alley chain.
Yes. We'll come back to that later, I'm sure. All right.
Do it for her. I need that Simpson gift with Liz on it. Alrighty. So, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do some news. It's a little big news day, I should say. That's a good way to phrase it. So, in both North America and Japan, FGO has been confirmed to work on Android 11 and iOS 14 now. They've both had that news updates. They've confirmed it works for sure. I decided to do this follow-up because this is something we were talking about a week ago or a couple weeks ago, where it was like they'd be sure to let everybody know, hey, we haven't tested it, so if it breaks, it's your own fault. Now they have tested it, it works fine. I think most people knew that anyway, but you know.
Yeah.
Here in the Americas, we are doing Revival, Halloween Strike, Demonic. Wow, I double fucked that up. Revival, Halloween Strike, Demonic Climb, HIMEJI Castle War, Light, 9:30 to 10:13. Rerun stuff, no rest for the wicked. Everybody was slightly surprised that it was immediate, no break.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really, because I was calling it. But yeah, no, they just do the thing. It's happening for 2 weeks, doing stuff. You can actually get you get to make the choice again, so you can pick. You don't have to do a redundant pick this time. You can pick the other one and get your full collection of Mecha Ellie-chan, whichever one you didn't get. Obviously, if you missed her, you may. Well, I mean, if you've already got some NP, you might as well flip the other to complete your servant decks. Basically, it doesn't actually matter that much. I don't think you will still have a complete unit either way, but that's a choice on you. Hopefully, you were playing at least when this rerun happened. Otherwise, you will be forever stuck with only one. Choose correctly. If you want to see any other stuff for the event, I did a news desk on it because they announced it like in the middle of the weekend. Hence why there's not a very big news section here. It's a rerun, and also we already did a video on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel a particular need to go into depth about it. Especially considering I don't think they really changed anything. I think all the bonus servants are the same. They didn't add anybody new or nothing.
I don't think so. Did they change anything in the shop?
I mean, the shop. I assume all the shops are different, but man, it's hard to tell.
I don't remember what the shop.
Because there's so much stuff in shops. When I write those shop lists for pre-games, it's just so much stuff that I'm like, I think it's different, but it might not be. I don't actually know. You can check though. We did a pre-game on this event, and this is your first time. That'll be. Oh, geez, I didn't look this up before. It'll be something. You can find it in our backlog. It'll be roughly a year ago. But now, Lucky, there's semi-big Japan news. Semi-big, little big news. JP doing Hunting Quest 9, which I was like, I could have sworn they'd already done 9 of these things, but I guess not. Who's counting? And also a Guda Guda banner. Not a Guda Guda event, but a Guda Guda banner. It's a Guda Guda banner. So the Hunting Quests are 10-2 to 10-9 a week. Hunting Quests, it literally just happened earlier today, so the first one is Soulless farming for chains. Looks pretty basic. Punch Soulless, get chains. We'll see if there's any spoilers or anything later. And in general, Hunting Quests are usually what they use to buy time before something new. Or at least when they need to buy time to prep stuff. They've already done another Hunting Quest this year. That was to fill the gap between doing, basically the CCC main interlude and, Tokugawa Labyrinth rerun, which, forked into Annie 5.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I assume, is buying time for whatever comes next. I say whatever comes next because, as we observed last year, technically they've said they're just quitting Halloween. This could be to buy time for Saber Wars 2 rerun, or it could be to buy time for a brand new event. We'll probably see later, because if it's a brand new event coming up, Hunting Quest has almost assuredly been to, sneak in a, new mob or something. Or a boss or whatever, like they did with the Hunting Quest just before Lost Belt 4 and the stone statue. But yeah, so that's happening. We'll learn more as it goes on. I don't know if people are necessarily disappointed or nothing. Probably not, though, because as a result of the Guda Guda banner, and yes, some people are wondering if this is a lead into a non-standard Guda Guda event, because we didn't do one earlier in the year.
We haven't had a... Have you had a rerun for...
Yeah, the last one rerun. That was earlier this year. That was in the gap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've already done the rerun on Kagetora. A lot of people are wondering if maybe they will do another one this year, and it'll be seasonally now, because they've opened up the October slot. That would come with a new welfare and probably be pretty welcome, but we'll see. Again, if something new is coming out after this, and this isn't just like buying time to make sure the rerun is ready, which the rerun will be to buy time for something new, whatever. Because obviously there's no real scheduled event in November, as it were. Then we'll probably see in one of these hunting quests before the end. They like to sneak in these Easter eggs. But the Guda Guda banner is Okita, Hijikata, and Izo raid up. If you've been missing Izo, he comes back. This is running for 2 weeks from the 2nd till the 16th of October. And as you would expect from a banner and stuff, there's rank up quests. So Okita got her first skill buffed. It is now reduced to Earth B+. Now it gives her a buff for 1 turn, which ups her attack by 20% for 1 hit after a hit. So she gains one of those on-hit effects. A procs when she hits somebody, that means her next attack is powered up by 20%, but 1 time. So it doesn't stack, but it does mean that she does get a flat attack modifier on lots of attacks. I've heard some people say it's only the face card, but I'm not sure. Because but it could be. There is actually a like basic attack added effect kind of thing, right? So I don't know if that's actually how it is. Even so, that's an interesting buff, especially since her NP does do defensive down. It's not super flashy, but I won't say no to 20% attack.
No.
And now Hijikata got a buff. His disengage now gives him one of those stackable guts you've been hearing all about. So he gets a 1 HP guts, which stacks with other guts, which is perfect for him, because he's all about that having 1 HP left. And, of course, long-awaited, Okita did get an animation update. It's super neat. She has a front-facing sprite. In her extra attack, she shoots a beam, kind of. It's great. We'll have to see if there's any future stuff, but there you go. There's, as Omega always preaches, hey, just wait a second, guys. Just hang on a second, okay? Because, you gotta... A lot of people were super feisty about all the Sabers getting buffs, and poor Okita's left out. And like I said, I don't know if the buff is, like, make or break or anything, but they gave her an animation update, they gave her a buff.
Yep.
Hey, remember she exists. Now if only I could get this kind of fucking action on buffing Jean. Where is your outrage? Did she not carry you through all the Part 1 bullshit? I know mine did. Heck, I know there are probably some people out there who my Jean carried them through Part 1 bullshit, because she was a big staple on my support list for a long time.
I wonder if I have any one of those particular staples. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, that's basically all the news we got. There's not really much more to discuss there. It seems like, once again, JP is gearing up to do a new thing, but they haven't actually done it yet, so all we can do is wait. Waiting.
Soon. Actually, that reminds me. I figured out actually putting the registered the trademark symbol in Discord is actually stupid easy, and it offends me.
What, just TM:?
Yeah. I didn't think it would be that easy.
Yeah.
How dare this?
It's technically an emoji.
Yeah.
I forgot your profile picture's animated. I hovered over your TM to highlight it, and you're just like...
Ikabokum.
Still popular.
Still great.
All right. Okay, then. So, this means that with no further news, unless Lucky has anything else other than that soon TM we threw out in chat to dab on with the hunting quest and whatever, that means we probably need to move on to mailbag, which, hey, remember how we talk about how sometimes we do the full mailbag? This is going to be one of those times, because there's nothing else. There's literally nothing else. It's a slow week.
Yeah, so Lucky, let's see here.
Not that Omega minds. He's hopeful this won't take forever.
Alright, so here's the timer. The timer is in my hand. The timer is now on the ground.
Smash! He threw it on the ground! Are people gonna get that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll circle back to this when a certain question in mailbag comes up. I may have pre-screened a few questions after our incident last week in instituting the spoiler rule. I may have done a little bit of pre-screening. And there was there's not any like questions that I think need to be yeeted or anything, but there's definitely a couple that gave me a concernicus. But yes, Lucky will now do his the rest of his mailbag spiel.
All right, so it's time for Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment every week where we field questions from you. And sometimes we get way too enthusiastic about it, sometimes we eat them, and sometimes we just don't even. We can't even, won't even. It looks like we have a fair number. We have 26. Actually, no, hang on. I will refresh. Let me see if anyone else got a last minute one in. Nope, still 26. All right. So, we will take it from the top. From that there guy who always giggles at Omega's voices. And they say, question, dear mad lads who I enjoy, since Halloween is coming back with that wonderful redrop CE, here is my question to you. If you had to pick one servant to be featured in a redrop CE, who would you want to see?
Well, guess what? My answer is incredibly easy. Because remember, last year there was no redrop Halloween CE. Redrop did not draw one for Saber Wars. So, he, she, it, they, drew a Mordred art, which was styled like a redrop CE, and I won it. That's it, that's me. Redrop really loaded my gun there, on that one.
Clack. Lucky's usually default answer for which servant is usually Tamamo, but I don't know if I actually need Tamamo in a redrop CE.
You don't want to see Tamamo in Royal Icing?
Not really, no. See, Lucky's weird. Like, I don't mind necessarily seeing, like, lewd art of, said waifus, but I do not actively go out of my way to find lewd art or imagine lewd art of said waifus. If I see it, I'm like, this is good shit. But otherwise, I'm just like, So, like, let's see here. Lucky has to actually take a moment. He apologizes.
It's fine. Editing will take care of that moment. Thank you, editing.
Yeah, well, thank you, editing. If not Tamamo, then give me a Wait, did Redrop ever do a Carmilla?
No, I did not believe so.
Then I would say Carmilla. Carmilla, who is to me that lovely, lovely blend of sugar and spice, and definitely not anything nice.
There's definitely some kind of rhyme there, but we got other shit to do.
Yeah. I would definitely like a Carmilla CE. I said Carmilla, kind of semi-popular. But yeah, that answers that. So thank you, that there guy who always giggles at Omega's voices. This next one comes from my alias, Zerkalot.
There's a double alias in there, by the way.
Yeah. But they say, my question is, what servant skills, lore-wise, do you like the most? Also, how do you deal with burnout? Well, for the second question, burnout is, I just go do something else for a little bit and come back. It's a cycle.
Yeah, we've talked about that one before. A lot of people. Gee, I wonder why, but a lot of people have been asking us burnout questions lately.
Also, proper pacing, so you don't actually reach that burnout.
Yeah, pace yourselves and just do other stuff. Like, hey, the reason why I didn't do way too much Guildfest to get burned out was because I was juggling lots of other stuff. Some of which maybe I could have juggled less, but no, I did other things. Worked on other games, played other stuff, hung out with other people.
And we're talking about what servants' skills, lore-wise, I like the most. Skahawk's Primordial Runes, they bullshit, yo. They fucking bullshit. What even?
The do-anything skills are really bullshit.
Like, I'll never forget Summer 1, where Skahawk literally solves everything. He's like, I'm just gonna rub some runes on it.
All kinds of things she can rub runes on. But yeah, so all of those kind of the do anything skills, whether it's various narrative things of high quality, whether it's I can just have all the other skills, which Skok has one of those, Chiron has another. Ketz actually has another, by the way. Wisdom of the Great God is the fact that Quetzalcoatl is a big leadership and teacher deity.
Yeah, and taught agriculture, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and taught humans how to do quite a few things, so Ketz has a power as a skill to give other people skills and do lots of different things. That said, just lore-wise, probably I like, let's see, out of those all, honestly, it's hard to pick out, because there's a lot of skills. There's a fuck ton of skills. There's probably like 50 billion skills we're forgetting. The utility ones are obviously the best. I feel like we've answered that question before. I think Ketz's style is probably the coolest, the Wisdom of the Great God. Just be like, oh yeah, hey, I have the authority of teaching people things. Let me teach you some stuff.
If we're talking about just...
That's also probably how she taught herself Lucha Libre EX.
If we're talking about skills, like, if I want to be a little bit selfish, I would just take, like, a super high rank of Golden Rule.
Well, yeah, Golden Rule is just the best.
Golden Rule, if you don't know, is just literally the skill that wealth just comes to you.
Yes.
Like, treasures just find its way to you. Like, you don't have to really have to do... You go to a casino, you just start winning big. This actually happens to Gil and Strange Fake, where he goes to a casino, he starts betting, and he just starts winning lots of money. And when his master's like, how does this work? He's all like, all this money belonged to me in the first place. It's just coming back. And he's all like...
Golden Rule is just the ability to accumulate wealth. That'd be super cool. But anyway.
Yep. So, thank you, my alias, Zerkalot. It's like my boy. My alias. So, this next one comes from the guy freed from the oppression of 2 lottos at once, for now. Oh, God.
Yeah, this is once again why we don't double up on JP, because this Hawkfest was running at the same time as Gilfest. I know several people who desperately were, like, cramming the last couple of days to do some decent work there in JP.
Oof. I salute you, but keep that lifestyle away from me. Anyway, they say, question. Hey, you two. As always, I hope your week has been going good, both in FGO and in life. For my question... excuse me. What style of event is your favorite? Lotto, mission-based, ladder, etc.
Oh boy, I gotta go mission-based. Just the concreteness of missions that you can, like, put your eyeballs on and go, oh, I only need to do this many times. Like, I know lots of people will go apeshit for lottos because they are very good for stuff, EXP, skill gems, I love them. But also, lottos and point ladders are probably the most soul-sucking.
Lottos are definitely soul-sucking. I have to choose between a lotto and mission-based. I have to yeet ladder because, even, like, here's the thing. Lottos, especially the new lottos, reruns usually have a cap. But new lottos, the sky's the fucking limit. You get out as much as you put in.
True.
And that is very important. But on the other hand, if you don't put in a lot to it, you don't get a lot.
Yeah. Ladder events are, hey, you need to get 1 million points. What if I don't? Well, fuck you.
Fuck you. And again, with lottos, lottos really, really screams for the people that have those super optimal strategies, so you can get the super ultimate drop, so you can get the super amount of boxes. Like I said, Lucky is said, my min, I literally said, my min is 20, my max is 50. I made it to 20. I made it to 28. I'm like, no, yeah, I'm done.
See, I had a soft cap. I was like, I will do minimum 10, and then I'll see how much more I do. And then I did 5, and I was like, ooh, I've only got a few days left. I really want those giant rings, though.
Yeah, so mission-based, I would say, definitely is probably the least amount of rewards, but it's definitely the most steady.
Yeah, there are only ever 100 rewards for sure. So
yeah, it's
limited, but like I said before, you know exactly what you need to do them.
Yeah, so I would definitely say I probably mission the best because as it's clear-cut goals, you know exactly what you're getting into, and you usually know exactly what you have to do. Followed by Lotto because Lotto events are just good. They just give you so much if you can invest it. And then ladders are probably the least because I'm looking at my fucking getting I look at starting this event getting hundreds of points, and I look at my fucking end goal of 2 million. I'm just like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's rough.
Unless Lucky pulls an APOC and goes absolute batshit insane.
Raids, by the way, also I would technically be a different sort of event. Some of those can be. Those are usually also ladders, but damage based. I'd call them a subset.
Yeah, I call them a subset.
Raids are probably a little bit more fun than just points ladders, right?
Yeah, but they're also a little bit annoying that if you accidentally sleep on it, they will literally be gone.
Yeah, but global raids especially are also tricky.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to shout out before we finish this up, because I think we've wrapped up our points there. As you were reading out the part about how Pure Week has been good, I was literally yawning and did the so-so hand gesture. I just want everybody to know.
Maybe when Lucky actually gets a little bit more handsome, we'll actually have some sort of face cam. But
we are still looking into it.
I'm telling you right now, these 6 months of fucking, it's been 6 months of Backstreet Boys reunion tour has not been good to my figure.
Yeah, I think it started about March. And now it's it's October. October just started, guys.
Yeah. So, Lucky is not the handsome darling that it used to be. I need to fix that. Anyway, so thank you, the guy freed from the oppression of 2 lottos at once, for now. Spartacus would be pleased. We move on to supplier of useless Yu-Gi-Oh! Tips. Dear Lucky and Omega, I just wanted to ask if there were any servants that you wish you saw more often on people support setups. I would ask if there's anyone you wanted to see less, but I think the answer is pretty obvious at this point. Thanks, and keep up the great work. P.S. Remember the ritual summon Saber Angel of Rash to destroy full metal foes Akahest. Was that a tip that I gave you?
Yeah, that's a shout out to the stream I did last week. Yet another stream, by the way, where a couple hours in, Omega had to rage quit and switch to playing Sleeping Dogs. It was not fun. I think I yelled my loudestest and my most cussiest on that stream, if you want to hear it. Literally, in the last hour, you can hear me be quieter and hoarser, because my voice is fucking destroyed. Anyway.
Wow.
Who do I want to see more of?
Bonus servants, I guess?
Well, yeah, in general, bonus servants, but when that's out of the question, just in general, I usually like weirder niches. Team debuff removal, that's easier now, because Jean. But for a while, that was pretty rough. And supposedly, there were a lot of people bitching about getting spooked by Medea Lily on that Hawk banner, and I was like, well, where are your Medea Lilies then, nerd? Because until very recently, my own Martha was not very high leveled, and even then, like, I've gotten through both of her rank ups. Even then, she probably still needs some skill levels, even though she would have the group debuff clear. So, like, that was usually a pretty rare niche. Since they did Jean's rank up, that's easier now.
Like, well, Omega thanks, I'm gonna talk. See, Lucky is a strong independent master who needs no support. I usually take care of everything else. The support setup is literally usually one of the last ones in my setup, and so my usual pick is, alright, what bonuses do I need? So I'm usually looking at whether, like, the servant gives, like, a bonus drop, or if their CE gives, like, a bonus whatever. Like, right now doing the rerun, they just give a damage bonus, so I'm just all like, but I have all these other bonus servants. I've literally been doing nothing but smacking things around with assassins right now because the damage.
There's so many of them also.
Yeah. But I'm all like, no, I got, like, I don't need to 3-term farm anything right now, so I'm just gonna smack them around slowly but surely. So yeah, like, I don't know, actually, when did I actually adopt the philosophy of my own over supports?
Because it really depends on the setup. With events, usually you want to go with yours. Like, unless you find that guy who's got that event servant waifu, like Grail 100, 10, 10, 10, and you're just like, well, obviously you've invested way more into this than I will. Like, that's when you're like, okay, I was going to use the servant anyway, but yours is just better than mine. I'll slap you in the front row. Usually I do follow a similar policy of just like, oh, you've got an MLB CE, I'll throw you in the back while I do all the work myself. The only exception is if we get, like... Because let's say this, there have been times when bonus servants have not been well balanced, and sometimes they have a lot of cost. There's a lot of 5 and 4 stars in there. And support servants are free. So sometimes I've used other people's units that I own in place of mine just because they maybe have slightly better skill levels and they're free, right? But in general, you work with what you got. The only time I ever, like, relied on doubles is, like, for certain tough stuff, I would be like, oh, hey, this quest, like, story quest or whatever, or whatchamacallit we're doing is, like, double Merlin compatible. Sure, I'll cruise control this. The game, usually that's when, that's either prefaced or suffixed by me acknowledging the game is being rude to me. And I'm like, I could double Merlin this. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, really my policy is, in general, if I'm hunting for supports, I want to see weird shit that I don't own. Like, whatever servant you got that fucking nobody has, other than Columbus, thank you, throw them up there. Be adventurous. Or don't, whatever. I'm not your boss.
But I think that's our thoughts on that. So, thank you, supplier of useless Yu-Gi-Oh! Tips. I would have laughed if his profile icon would have actually been that fucking little robot that...
Goddamn robot. If you don't get it, I don't know how many I've done. It got to be like a dozen. I've been doing it like most of the time through quarantine with occasional breaks. Which there will be some sort of breaking going on for a little bit because Squadrons is out now. But yeah, yep. Like I got a long history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Streams. Screams is also accurate.
Yes.
If you ever wanted to check it out. Okay.
All right. So this next one comes from a place, and they say,
"It's fucking esoteric."
Yeah. Dear Lucky and Omega. A few weeks ago, you guys talked about the differences between pseudo and demi-servants. My question is, why are Fujino and Shiki pseudos? And if the definition our demis are true, aren't Shiro from Heaven's Feel and Sieg also demi-servants by that definition? If you don't know, what's your personal opinion on it? May you have a good day. Alias, a place. So, first off, Shiki and Fujino are not pseudos. They do not have a heroic summit into them. Specifically, Shiki actually is a modern, quote-unquote, servant by the fact that the woman in a kimono, red jacket in a kimono, is an urban legend. It's very shaky ground, but as we like to say with Nasu runes, Nasu verse has very strong ironclad rules, unless there's an exception.
Yes.
And there's nothing but exceptions.
And some of this confusion may come from Voyager's NP buff, which is... So, here's the thing. While, you'll probably see the wiki call that demi and pseudo, when talking about Shiki and Fujino, that's a lie. It's the actual text is still living. Gray is also on that list. She is not a pseudo.
Yes.
She is a human who owns a noble phantasm.
Fujino is a servant because when the world was incinerated, the root was literally like, no, but I love this sweet child. Yoink. And grabbed her.
Actually, that's more like the counterforce was like, hey, you can delete bridges? Can you do that for me? Can you delete some bridges?
Root, Alea, counterforce.
Yeah. But yes, I could see why there would be some confusion, but Lucky is right. No, Shiki, Assassin, and Fujino are not actually pseudos or demis by our understanding of those definitions. Their saint graphs stand on their own for reasons.
Shiro, from Heaven's Feel is another one of those weird cases because you have to remember, Shiro is Emiya. That's what it is. Basically, that happens in Heaven's Feel is when, Heaven's Feel spoilers, by the way. So if you don't want to know.
Oh, actually, by the way, here's another good point as to how this works. The still living human buff also applies to both versions of Prisma Ilia, which is accurate. She is, again, a human who, while some of her abilities are to take on servant-like qualities, she's still a living human with abilities, not a pseudo or demi of any type. Same with, Mio. Kuro's kind of a gray area. Anyway, yes, Lucky. Sorry, continue. I was just reading this list and wait a second.
With Shiro, when he grabbed on Archer's arm, basically because they are the same person, he's able to use the energy and power from it. Normally, this shouldn't be able to happen, but because technically they're the same person, it fucking works. And so...
And obviously it's killing the shit out of Shiro because... Yeah. Well, we talked about how bad he is at this last week.
Yes.
And I think you could... Like you said, it's a really, really weird one. You could probably technically call that a demi-servant, but all of Archer's abilities are Shiro Emiya's anyway, literally. Yeah. So it's
here's the specific thing. In no cases has a heroic servant been summoned into the vessel.
Yes,
it's usually a physical thing that has been transplanted from a servant to a human. This is the same thing with Siege when he received the heart from Siegfried. At no point is he actually inhabited by the thoughts and minds of Siegfried himself.
Yes.
Siegfried, he's gone.
You can use his command cells to become Siegfried, but that's a dead count shapeshift. That's an all capital letters thing, all proper nouns thing.
Mash actually, during part 1, actually does have Galahad inside her. He's a kind of a fuckboy and he's like, nah, I ain't doing shit. And for the longest time, he didn't do anything. But, when at the end, it's all right, I'll let you manifest my powers.
Yeah.
There is none of that complication with Sieg or Shiro. It's just I have the physical thing. I can do the stuff.
Well, and also this could, again, I'll show last week, this could also tie back into stuff discussed in that episode talking about magic circuits and the like, because you can transplant those. Those are semi-metaphorical, but also have physical signatures, so obviously when Shiro gets Emiya's arm, it's like getting access. It's almost like a Magic Crest type of thing. He's getting access to his own abilities. This is also explained in Unlimited Blade Works when they clash.
Yes.
Emiya explicitly shouts out the idea that you could learn from past lives, and Shiro's just doing that in reverse because fuck time.
If I remember correctly, though, in Heaven's Feel, Shiro doesn't get access to Unlimited Blade Works, though.
It's probably because he never sees it and never realizes he has it.
Yeah.
He does do similar abilities, Trigger Set, 9 Lives Blade Works, but I don't think he ever figures out that he has a reality marble. Because in Unlimited Blade Works, the anime and the plotline, he only does it after he sees Archer do it and realizes that that's a thing. I think he reaches the point where he could do it on his own. But basically, every different plotline ends with Shiro doing something else interesting. Like in Fate, he traces Avalon to not die to Grail. In Unlimited Blade Works, he figures out how to Unlimited Blade Works. And then in Heaven's Feel, he's got the arm so he can trace a lot of fun things. Let's just leave it at that, because those movies are still coming out.
If I remember correctly, technically he's the strongest in Heaven's Feel.
Yes, that would make sense, like we said, because of the transfer, but I believe in Heaven's Feel he is also closest to fucking exploding into swords or something.
Yes.
As is usual for Shiro. But yeah, we don't need to linger on that one too much more. With Sieg, though, I would, to shout out the last week thing, the heart and the core, that's the Dragon Core reactor, so that would make sense that, literally Sieg got a shitload of extra magic juice on top of already having really good magic circuits.
Honestly, I'm probably sure it only works because he was a homunculus. I'm pretty sure if Sieg tried to do that with a fucking Pneumo Human, they literally would explode.
Probably. It's explored several times in several different stories that the direct passing of power from servants to humans is bad.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to work because they're fundamentally incompatible creatures. But yeah, so there you go. Hopefully that answered all your questions.
Yep. So thank you, A Place. We now move on to climbing castles. Wait, they forgot an S in this, but I still don't know how it's pronounced. Sejet.
Sestish. Listen, I'm not Romanian. I don't know.
No, I don't know. Anyway, with Sassy Shin, it's Merkava. And they say, alright boys, the Kaiju rerun is here. Which version of Michaela Jan are you getting this time? Simple answer, I'll be picking up Mark 2. I picked up Mark 1 first year.
Same for me. So, time to get Mark 2.
Gonna be good. But thank you, Climb Castle. With Sassy Shin, it's Markava Main. We now move on to that one guy who exists, now in saving mode. And they say, hey, Lucky Omega, hope you're having a good day and hope your week is good as well. No question, just wanted to wish you all a good week and also say that the reruns event, that time gate things are annoying. Well, I can kind of understand why some people would think that, but also for some people who can't just do FGO all day, every day, time gates are great.
Yeah, no, so on reruns, I can kind of see the complaint, right? Like, you've done it all before, you want to get it done. But some people haven't done it yet, this is their first time doing it, and in general, it's a great way to, balance out story and doing all that work, and then also doing farming or doing other things, especially because there's a lot of other things that people want to do right now coming around. By the way, I pulled it up on Wikipedia. They use the spelling, which is I don't know what the little caret over the C does, but it's kashtish, or I don't know how hard the C's are.
I don't know.
I also don't know why in certain languages they write it with a J, but I've had this complaint before about somebody, I don't know who it is, but somebody in this process really fucking things up by arbitrarily assigning English Latinate letters to rando sounds. I'm looking at you, Romanizing Chinese. Your goddamn X's.
I was actually talking to Dallas the other day, who wants to watch people play Genshin Impact, just so when people have to try and pronounce Chinese names, he can laugh hard at them, because he's that kind of person.
I mean, he put the study in, so... He
did. Dallas, one of our moderators at Discord, is a big Chinophile. He loves Chinese history and whatnot. So he can actually speak the Chinese words, usually.
Yes. Though it's also funny. This means he is completely unprepared to handle, weird Japanese transliterations of Chinese stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, people were asking him about nicknames for the Welfare Lancer this summer, because hey, guess what? That's a Chinese character, but like Sanzo or Xuansong in the Chinese, her name is pronounced the Japanese way, which is where that nickname Guchen comes from, because the Japanese way her name is pronounced with those characters is like Gubujin or something. So naturally we just go Guchen, Gucci. We can just call her Gucci. That's funny. But yeah, pronunciation is weird. All right. Thanks for the well wishes though. I appreciate those every time.
I need those positive vibes, yo. But thank you, that one guy who exists now in Saving Mode. We now move on to Seeker of Casino King Bun Bun, who says, well, there's one thing good about losing your job to the Koof. That being more free time for a lot of events, 14 smiles protected, and 3 new 10-10-10s. Hope you're all doing well.
Hey, good for you.
And that's good.
I did some similar work.
I don't think I got any new 10-10.
No, I didn't round up. Did I? I don't think I actually got anybody to 10-10-10 per se, but I leveled a lot of skills to like 6 during that business.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did a lot of 4 and 6. And I got Scotty up to 8-8-8, but I got stopped by Cokes.
Yeah, I wanted to put Aresh to that final 10-10. She's at 8-10-10 right now, but goddamn, she needs a lot of stakes. Criminy. Yeah.
I also got my
we had this conversation about chains earlier. Bronze Mat's hurt.
Yeah, they do. I think I also got my regular Skahawk up to 8-8-8 because I like me a Skahawk. Anyway, shit, I need to do a fucking thumbnail. I don't want to do a thumbnail. I gotta do it.
You must do a thumbnail. I have no idea what the fuck will be in thumbnail. I think you already did the double Mecha Liz joke before.
I probably did. I might go...
Did you put Trick or Treatment in the thumbnail yet?
I'll check. I'll check my old thumbnails. I don't think I've used Okita in the thumb. Oh, not during Halloween, so I might have to use that. Maybe a CE and maybe Osaka Hime. I'll find out. I'll figure out. Anyway, so...
Oh, actually, that does remind me. We didn't talk about it at all, but I talked about it already in news, but there was a rank up for Osaka Hime, which not enough people are doing, I've noticed. I'm watching you support Osakabe Hime's with your unbuffed NPs. Anyway, let us move on to the mailbag.
I should probably go do that then myself. So thank you, Seagrip Casino King Bun Bun, for your statement and bragging. So, next one comes from He Whose Soul Was Crushed by Dawn of the Deep Soul. We have a lot of esoteric. Anyway, greetings, Lucky and Omega. My question is simple. Given how much Lucky likes the Emiya cooking anime, I do like it very much. What would you think of a Hell's Kitchen version with Emiya Alter, Tomovich, and Avenger Boudica? How do you guys think a show like that would go?
Emiya Alter is just pointing his guns at people. It's frozen! It's bland. It's very bland.
Just Avenger Boudica in the back screaming.
Avenger Boudica puts 2 pieces of bread on somebody's head. What are you? A Benedict sandwich? Correct.
Honestly, just take all the Gordon Ramsay memes and just superimpose.
I mean, it's funny they went that route and did not bring up Benny Enma, who is literally Hell's Kitchen. But I see what they're going for. It's still funny. Though I gotta be honest, I don't think we know if Tomovich likes to cook. Yeah, no, I don't think that's her jam. She definitely likes to collect things. That's weird. She likes guns.
Yeah, she do.
I expect Tomovich would be one of those catty makeover shows, considering she literally gets a new outfit every Lost Belt.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I would see fucking Tomovich be a fashion judge and just completely rip into people every time, all the time.
Actually, whenever she's summonable, those voice lines are going to be fun, guys.
I am excited.
Any more thoughts on Hell's Kitchen?
No, I'm just remembering. I don't remember who ever made the art, but speaking of Idiot Sandwich, it was the picture of Benny Enma holding Tomoe Gozen between the two.
Because Tomoe can't cook either. She's a soldier. How did you burn toast? Actually, no, the funnier thing is when you undercook toast. Then you get undercooked toast germs. That is a big 1%er. Little big percent. Guys, can you tell that we don't have any focus for this show?
No. Lucky's kind of itching to go play more Genshin Impact and maybe watch some anime, because I've watched a little bit, now I want to watch more. Also, I gotta work on this damn rerun.
Yeah, I got stuff I want to do. Let us keep going.
Let us keep going.
Most of these are quite short.
Yes. So the next one comes from the girl who's between gacha games. Oh wait, no, excuse me. Thank you, he whose soul was crushed by the dawn of the deep soul. For a question. Now we go on to the girl who's between gacha games. Good evening, guys. My question is, what was your favorite event? Mine is CCC. It's a good event. It's a really good event. I really love that event. I think I'm gonna jump on that back one and say it's my favorite event too.
My favoriteest event.
Favorites.
Well, first of all, I gotta put a thumbnail on that. I gotta put a pin in it.
Pin?
I will tentatively say... I'm gonna go with Summer 3. It's a little recent in my mind, but really that's one that sticks out to me. But I gotta put a pin in that because I know that Saber Wars 2 is coming out with Space Ishtar. Mm-hmm. That's probably gonna have a lot of humor that's my speed and a lot of references I get, much like Summer 3. Mm. But yes, for now, definitely Summer 3 for me. It's so fun when the people writing and translating these things get you, right? Mm. Like, it's so, like somebody already... We mentioned Genshin Impact earlier. Tune into What's Up. I'm already thinking of the title, and it will involve the word impact. But somebody already pointed out one of the in-game achievements of that is called Golden Experience Requiem. Like, it's just so good. And somebody called out that the localizers were good. I'm like, hey, you don't know that. The Japanese people love JoJo. That could be a one-to-one.
Oh yeah, no. One of the achievements is also just called Stardust Crusader.
Yeah, no, it's entirely possible those are one-to-one, guys. Japanese people love the shit out of JoJo, too. Alright. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Summer 3. Sadly, I do not think I can play Genshin while recording the show.
I probably could, but I gotta work on a thumbnail. Let's see here. So, thank you, girl who's between gacha games. We move on to the soon 20-year-old crow. Child! But they say, with my 20th birthday being only 3 days away after this week's episode, my question is simple. What servant would you want to hang out with your birthday the most? Sincerely, a 19-year-old crow. Lucky's default answer is Tamamo. I would have a happy married life house date. Be great. Listen, I like. Oh, actually, Megan was going to say something. What?
No, I was just starting. But if you're going to keep telling your story, go ahead.
Yeah, like I like to celebrate my birthday. I really do, but I don't need to go fucking wild and crazy about it. I don't need to go out to like parties and bars and stuff. I enjoy, usually having a few friends over, having a cake, maybe playing a fuck ton of video games, or just spending some time. Like, so yeah, Tomo, we'd have a nice evening. We have a fun time, but yeah.
Yeah, what I usually do is similar. Get some cake, get some junk food. Like I don't eat fast food a lot, so I usually like to be like, hey, it's been forever since I've had some fucking McDonald's. Let's get some crappy food in here. And by crappy, I mean really good for me, but not for me. Watch a movie, that kind of stuff. I think I've talked about my social anxiety and stuff. Never been one much for crowds and things. And this is one of the few cases, though, where I would say I would not mind spending time with Mordred. I feel like the chaos would work. The enthusiasm. Alternatively, we could have great adventures as I relentlessly shame her for doing nothing.
I don't know. You go with that. She might actually drag you outside, though.
Like I said, usually see a movie. Sometimes we go out for that. Probably not this year.
Yeah.
By the way, my birthday's in December, and I can still say that. I fucked that up a little bit. It's still in December though, and I'm still saying that. Anyway, yeah, no, that's one of those cases where I think that'll work. But also, this was the thing I was talking about earlier when we were talking about references. I'm like, there's so many baby children who watch our show. Are they gonna get our fucking old ass memes from 10 years ago? I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. As long as I get it, I'm happy. So, thank you, the soon 20-year-old crow. We now move on to Alias, What's His Life? And they say, what's y'all think about... What's y'all? What's y'all? No, I guess that's fair. What's y'all think about the FGO Camelot's trailer? Judging by it, they'll be cutting out off stuffs. Which I don't mind, but how you feel about it? That's the price of adaptation. Well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, they're doing 2 movies, and obviously the trailer's for the first movie, so yes, there will be some stuff they're just not going to cover, because they're doing 2 movies.
Like I said, I guarantee they're going to cut off a lot of fluffy, nothing fights.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be it's going to be 4 hours. Actually, shoot. How long was Babylonia in terms of raw content?
Oh.
There was 24 episodes? Okay. So that's 24 episodes times 20 minutes. I have a calculator. That would be 480 minutes. Divided by 60. It's 8 hours. So, anime movies are usually about 2 hours, give or take. So we're looking at roughly half of Babylonia worth of content. I don't think that Camelot is necessarily half the tech space of Babylonia, but it is shorter. And like you said, there's a decent amount of out of fluff I can expect to see cut out. There was a fair amount of, as usual, bullshit questing and fighting guys and stuff, which we will probably just skip.
I'm hoping they might trim down dialogue too. Maybe cut off
they could probably compress some things.
But as I said, there's definitely some story. Actually, shoot, will they might. I wonder if they'll just cut out Serenity.
No, I think she's been in the. Hasn't she been in the trailers?
Has she been in the trailers?
I think she's been in the trailers. Like I said, I don't expect compress the time with the Hassans. Like, I don't expect us to get. Not that some of them are fully fleshed out either, but I'm expecting them probably to act more like a Greek chorus kind of thing, where like Kirstarm will probably take the focus because he has kind of a subplot. Though even that could probably be streamlined, right? And to be fair, in the story, Serenity and 100 Personas don't really do anything. So having them just hang out will be fine. And I don't know if we'll go into like Serenity's whole obsession or anything.
Yeah, because remember, Serenity only shows up because you have to go punch a fucking castle to get her out. But ultimately, that really doesn't contribute. To
they might trim. I believe that is a confrontation with, I completely lost his name for a second.
Agravain?
Yeah, Agravain. Like I said, I lost him for a second there. But yes, that's where Agravain first shows up with his guys, his enforcement knights, and then fucks off. But, again, that could be cut out for pacing. So yeah.
They might trim out. They won't remove it, but they'll probably maybe slow down on Holmes a bit, because Holmes is a bunch of...
Well, also, I gotta, pacing-wise, I don't know if that's part one. I don't actually know. That's a big expository scene, but because they're doing these things kind of out of sequence, I don't know how much relevant it'll be. Then again, like I said, Babylonia did a great job with flashbacks and the like of, still making it feel like there was a whole journey up to this point, right?
Yeah.
So, I would assume, well, one, I mean, come on, it's the one time he's gonna get it. Holmes should show up.
He should, yeah.
Unless they're gonna start animating Lost Belts, which they probably will eventually, but that'll probably be 5 years from now. But it's one of his few big opportunities to actually show up and do stuff, even if it's just kind of exposit. That said, I don't know if that'll be very long. That's just he talks a lot and then asks questions, and then we say stuff back to him, and then he's just like, "Elementary, now excuse me, I disappear." Because that's the point where you fight Lancelot, and that's when Mash's skill upgrades. She gets her final ascension, I believe, because she gets pissed off at... Well, Galahad gets pissed off at Lancelot, and there's some bonking. But again, like I said, I don't... The problem with them doing it as two movies for this discussion is I don't know what will be shuffled where. Yeah, I don't know where we're going... I would expect that we're going to end on Stella. That'll be the big final act climax of the film is, okay, we've gathered all our allies, we've done this stuff, we fought off, Mordred and Tristan, and then the Lion King decides to blow them out anyway, and Arash has to do the thing. And then we're like, well, we survived. That means we have to continue our mission in the next movie. Right?
Honestly, I'm hoping, if I can understand the pacing right, then hecking... The first movie should be gathering all the allies and the expedition we need, and the second movie should literally all just be going to see fucking King Hassan, and then...
Yeah, we awaken Gramps, then we're like, alright, now we must deal with Pharaoh Man. Which that's also a thing that could be trimmed. I don't know if they'll do that as a whole fight. Hey, fun fact, they completely they didn't have to, because there weren't really any demon pillars in Babylonia, but in general they've avoided demon pillars, period, so far with the animation. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they work around that one for the movie film.
Yeah.
But that should probably be pretty close. And then, once that's set up, it's just fucking, bum rush the tower.
Yeah.
That'll also probably be something that is going to be compressed. I don't think we'll have to, we probably won't need to have, 5 fights with enforcement knights for floors, etc. Shit like that. There will be no fight at the gate other than Gramps is going to show up, blot out the sun, and dance with Gawain for a little bit. while everybody runs forward, right? So it's
we probably won't stop the fight Tristan. He'll probably be immediately cut off by the SAN'S.
Yes, there will be no boss fight with Tristan. Or there may be a conflict with Mordred, because she basically runs out of energy at some point, and you beat her up. There will probably be like that final moment with Gawain before the Lion King, but also he could be, they could easily trim that down to just he chases all the way to the castle and then like keels over. So in the story, they don't really show Lancelot versus Agravain. I would like if they'd show it in the movie, but it's not required. So I don't know. I'm expecting pretty classical. We've done all our setup. We've got an hour left. The movie is just going to be one nonstop action piece with occasional bits of dialogue, culminating obviously in the fight with the Lion King, which will not really be a fight. Like there'll be some clang clang noises. She'll decide to use the spear. Mash will use her NP, and then Bedivere will do the thing, and then it'll be over. That's it. Like, it's gonna look super cool. It probably shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Because, again, you have to think about what the purposes of a fight are in the game, right? Like, and how it's related in the story. A good example of this is, if you're looking at stuff, check out what they did with the stage adaptation.
That's probably a good way to look at it, yeah. Again, Aniplex, please, get us the Blu-rays.
Yeah, just sub those, slap some subs on there, throw me those Blu-rays. People will buy them.
I will buy them. All right. So, thank you. What is life?
That one took a while.
Mm-hmm. We move on to Where's Toto-sama? And they say, hey guys, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say hi and wish you both well. Okay, well, time to go bend a fire giant to death. Bye. Bend.
Thank you for your well wishes.
I'm assuming they are going to use Fujinon.
That is also a decent strategy for that fight.
Again, I'm super happy. Lucky doesn't necessarily need multiple NP levels, so I'm happy with my NP1 Fujinon. I've been giving her a little bit of love, trying to get her skill levels up. But yes, thank you for your positive vibes. They will help. So thank you. Where is Toto-sama? We now move on to Alias, Emblem, who gets lost while exploring. That is Genshin Impact. Literally, it's like, hey, what's that? Then you look up, what's that? And then half an hour later, you are completely off your objective, and you're just like, well, shit.
What was I doing again? Why am I here?
Yes. Right. But they say, hey guys, I wanted to ask one simple question, as I finally escaped writer's block due to the existence of historical fantasy genre. Now onto the question itself. It relates to gold foes. What servants did you give the gold foes to so far? I only ask, as I got very curious and started to think about it as I gave my recent gold foe to David. Thank you for answering my question. Have a nice day. You too. Smiley face. Big smiley face. Die smiley face.
Yes. Hey, it's not gonna shock anybody. I'm pretty sure my gold foes have all gone to Mordred or Ishtar at this point. Maybe some to Uresh? I don't know. I'm kind of flighty with foes of any kind, so they get a little bit of even distribution. And obviously nobody's really super maxed up that way, but yeah, no. Hey, it's where my goals went.
When he was trying to remember the Japanese for smile, it's like something like that. I can't remember. All my Gofos have gone to Tomino's. Like my caster Tomino, she's 2K. She is topped up. Like I said, she is Tamamo complete. If I can get 3 more MP levels, she'll be Tamamo perfect. But right now I'm working on Tamacat. Like I said, Tamacat is, not people's first choice when they come to Bazaka and Bazakarang, but I love her. And she's going to be getting them all until she's stomped off. And then guess what? We're going to Tama Lancer. It's like I have a theme here. But that is that. So thank you, Emblem, who got lost while exploring. We move on to Shion Bidu, who says, hello, Lucky Omega. I hope all is well. It's okay. So this question has 2 games tying together. If you could pick 5 random servants in FGO, rare to be damned, just literally 5 servants, to be in Azure Lane, what servants would you choose, and where would you place them? Hope everything is going okay. So, real easy. Real fucking easy. Drake. I know there's already a fucking Royal Navy Drake, but I want another Royal Navy Drake. Okay?
Just call her Francis Drake.
Yes.
Battleship.
Big guns.
Well, yeah, because her guns are huge.
Huge guns! Also, I would also like for IGN, I would like a Tamamo. I think that'd be kind of crazy and kind of awesome. Fun fact: when Lucky plays games games with ships that you name, I always name one of my ships the Tamamo no Mai. Let's see here.
Tama would probably be a carrier because magic. Sakura's weird.
Let's see here. Well, I've named two. Do you have one off the top of your head?
Well, I was gonna say Drake anyway, so yeah, we'll share that one. Let me
Okay.
see. I'm thinking with my brain because there are a few nauticals, but a decent chunk of them are dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, I don't know how Anne and Mary would work. But Mordred canonically has a summer version that is a boat, kind of shield boat. So we could do that. That could be funny.
Honestly, I think now that I'm thinking about it, give me an Eagle Union Nightingale. Make her a repair.
Royal.
I mean, yeah, Royal. My bad. I'm sorry. I temporarily confused myself because of American chapter.
Yeah. No, Nightingale will be fun. That's a repair ship. There's only like 2 of those anyway, I think.
Let's see here.
Does anybody go in the... Yeah, wait, no. I got it. Submarine melt.
Submelt. Yeah, no, that's pretty great.
Melt yells about being a dancer, not a submarine.
Also, Siren Abbey. There we go.
That'll work. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's fine. That's the 5. So, yeah, we got Royal Navy battleship Francis Drake. We have IGN carrier Tamamo no Mai. Royal Navy repair ship Nightingale. Actually, what faction would Melt belong to?
They're a moon type faction. I don't know. Usually when they do collabs, they're their own faction. So
that's very true. They'll do their own faction, and then yeah, let's just
also as a bonus one. Summer Nero is a cruiser. She's already got. I mean, it's more Kantai than Azure Lane, but she's already got the things. She does the thing already.
She does do the thing already. Right. So yeah, no, that's fun to think about. Thank you very much, Shion Bidoo. We're gonna move on to Zed, just Zed, who says, comment. Saber, good civ, and the altar smiles protected. I have also managed to get the QP and EXPs needed in less than 6 boxes than I was expecting, even with me using QP to level and ascend until to final ascension from level 1. Hope you guys are enjoying the game and hope that you stay safe. Question. I have looked at my current available servant roster and realized that I don't have many event servants for HIMEJI Council Rerun. I know that newer events put less emphasis on having event servants, but still feel slightly disappointed that this might be a trend. And on some future events, I won't be getting many, if any, of the bonuses I could be getting. My question, therefore, is, has there ever been an event where you are a little bummed out that you can't use a party of mostly event servants? Like how you know you can beat the event with your usuals, but you feel like it's almost a waste not to have fun with the event servants. There's definitely been some event. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Cause let me tell you right now, sometimes their fucking event service setup is just weird. Like it'll be super heavily stacked into one area, or it'll be stacked with like limiteds and SRs that you can only get by rolling.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a thing this is a crystallization of something I've been talking about with FGO for a while. FGO is definitely I think in this genre, a weird game where honestly, first and foremost, they only care about story, right?
Yeah.
Like that is their big appeal, that is the thing they want to do, that is why people are here, is because of the characters and the story. So, hey, sometimes they write events weird and they only have like 5 characters in them, and guess what, if they're all limited, well, guess what? That's what you get. Now, that was definitely the way they treated a lot of past events, especially. Like, they would only do characters that were involved, and now, sometimes these were more interesting than others. Like, is there a bonus for this? Yes, there was a bonus for the first Christmas event. That was super small. There was only like 10 guys in it. But a decent number of them, like half of them were silver or bronze, so you should have at least half of them, right? And obviously one of them was the welfare. That is at least something that's good. If it's a welfare event, you know that the welfare will be good for it. That's fun for reruns, especially. Shoot, were there bonus servants in Guda Guda? Yes, there were, technically. Okay, alright, I see. It was a similar layup. I mean, as the game's roster has improved, right?
Mm-hmm.
they have definitely done better, and sometimes they can do, like, crazy things, like, oh, all female units get a bonus, or all male units get a bonus, or in Skafest, hey, we're just gonna give every servant bonus damage that increases inversely to their rarity.
Yeah, that one was wild.
Yeah, that's cool. Can't wait to try that one out. So yeah, I can, maybe not bummed, but, like, the way they phrase it as, you know, it's not a waste not to have fun with event servants, I'm like, well, I don't know about that. Like, I use all my servants decently, but there's a decent number of units I'm just like, whatever. Like, it is entertaining to use different units, but also I'm the kind of guy who goes and looks at his, you know, his level 30 or whatever Eric Bloodaxe and is like, yeah, I'm not pouring all those expensive EXPs into you just to do a bonus event, you know. I'm sorry, Eric. Like, if I have good enough time coming up and I'm like, ooh, I want to use these units, I'll prep. So, like, I don't know if I feel like it's a waste not to have fun, but it definitely feel like it's like, I've talked about this with some other people and stuff. Like, and this allows me to side comment to somebody, like, made a comment the other week about, like, saying that they did not follow my opinions on support setups and events because it was like, how can you complain about too many Scotties and also complain about not being able to farm multi-class nodes? Which I was like, okay, first of all, context, I'm complaining about this while I'm recording the show, that I have to use my brain to plan out an event, which I can't do while recording the show. I am recording the show right now. That requires most of my brain power. It may not seem like it does, but it does. But also, there's no fucking big brain to FGO farming. There's not. If there would, it wouldn't be good farming. If you had to stop and think about every single time you had to do those fucking farm loops, because think about it, how much currency do you get out of a good round, right? Like, if you don't have CEs, there'll be like, what, 9 enemies at tops, so you get like 9 to 10 drops, not counting CEs. Usually you need like at least 20 to get something, so you got to farm at least twice, usually at 40 AP to get anything. No, they want you to farm a lot, so, like, that's where event servants come into play for me, where it's like, if I'm like, oh, I don't have any of these units, oh, that means I can't necessarily, like, have a quicker, easier time farming. Or, you know, I have to, like, engage in different ways. And it does, maybe not, you know, like I said, maybe not I don't feel like I'm bummed for not having fun, but I do feel kind of like, aw, I could definitely do this easier and simpler. You know, you gotta put in extra effort that maybe you don't want to do. Because, let's be real, how many of you really want to farm for those giant rings? But you need those rings. They're useful.
Gotta carry that weight. So
yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. And they definitely get better about trying. But yeah, we talked about the bonus list. Let me actually look at what is the actual listicle here.
I have it right here.
I think it's everybody on the pickup at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, there's a decent spread of permanents. There's okay. If you're a newer player, you're kind of boned, but there's 3 past welfares in here. Right? So if you've been playing a decent amount of time, you should. There's a lot of permanents. I do notice that this event is one of those cases where it's a lot of golds. There's only 1 silver. It's Kyo. You should have a Kyo by now, but you might not. Like, it's not that hard to get a hands on, like, Elizabeth Bathory. She could be in a tutorial role. Same with Carmilla. I still don't have a couple of these 4 stars, though. Or 5 stars, for that matter. So yeah, there's definitely some... This is definitely a weirdly slanted event, where it favors if you've been playing the game a long time. Though it is the culmination of a trilogy, that kind of makes sense from a writing perspective, right?
Yes.
Like, the characters it involves are a lot of callbacks and so on.
Actually, look at it. It's Pent, Sashishin, and Wu that are new, which are new to the story. Well, I guess Nidhime and the Mark Ellis. But yeah, no, every other bonus servant is from the past trilogies.
Yes. But yeah, so for me though, the event that epitomizes the crappy bonus servant list is Saber Wars. Oops, all yes. Sabers.
Yes.
Especially considering, hey, I didn't roll MHX until both the first and the rerun version of that event were done. The only non-Saber bonus servant. I don't think they even added MHXA to the rerun, the animals. Like, that would have gone a long way. Just a full-blown freelance berserker. Maybe they thought it would make it too easy. A berserker with a damage CE on the bonus.
Destroyed.
It should be destroyed. It's a dumb event.
Yeah, let's go with Okita Trick or Treatment and Aerial Drive. That's a good spread.
That's a good one. But yeah, no, like, so the core question, there was a lot of explanation of our feelings there, but it was a long question that asked a lot of subjective stuff. In general, I do maybe not the same way, but I do kind of understand the feeling of being a little sad that you can't use bonus servants for whatever reason. Usually events try to provide, that's what rate-ups are for. Like, I think most of those 4-stars that are bonus servants are on rate-up, on a rolling rate-up on the rerun. You know, and you got monthly tickets. Obviously, some people are like, but I'm not going to roll, and then some people roll anyway. As evidenced by so many people in our server who rolled a gill. So yeah, no, there's definitely some trepidation there, some emotion. On the converse, hey, it feels really great to look at a bonus support list for an upcoming event and be like, haha, I've got all of these at full level already. Joke's on you, bonus servant list. And I don't know, I was talking about this because we were talking about whether or not, like, story requirements for events, because, actually, well, I don't know, do I want to... I may remind this people later, when we talk about it later, but I will shout out now that I would like to remind everybody you need to clear Lost Belt 2 if you want to do Oniland. Which is important because it has an offensive welfare caster in it, so you want to do Oniland, so make sure you're caught up on story. It's a big deal.
Big deal.
Like, we were talking with some people about events that require story completion, and this year, new events technically haven't, even though they maybe should have, and I think possibly they've gotten to taking their time to include extra, like, optional dialogue if you aren't far enough in the story for stuff, like how if you haven't cleared, I think if you haven't cleared Solomon or whatever, and you do Summer 5, Consort U Lancer just wears sunglasses over her face so you can't recognize her. Because obviously she is a story-locked character in Lost Belt 3, so you will get more then, which is soon for us. But
soon.
That like most summer events was just tied to Fuyuki, but this year hasn't had a lot of new events, period, so it's really hard to, like, talk about trends this year with events, because 2020's been a real fucked up year in a lot of ways. But I'd have to double check, but it does seem like they have started a slight trend towards a lot more broad ones, or they've definitely started going more apeshit with bonus servants to just be characters that aren't even in the story. Like, I think every character from Lost Belt 3 is on the bonus servant list for Summer 5, even though they're not in the story. This is in addition to all the males who get costumes and all of the summer servants for 5 years. So that's one of those cases, right, where they were just like, oh yeah, no, you'll have some bonus servants, buddy. Don't you worry.
We got you.
In general, I think the bonus servant mechanic, like, it either rewards frequent rolling or long-term play. If you've been playing a long time, or if you roll a lot, you'll have better, but they try to make it so you can get some free-to-plays in there. HIMEJI Castle might just be a very weird one. Like, think about it. Oniland's coming up. That is a bonus servant list, right?
Yes. It's
and probably next week we'll do maybe next week? Well, there's going to be an interlude campaign. I'll think about when I do the preview later. But that's just short servants. That's just people who are short. Babies. Literal children. Just babies. That's one of those weird conditional ones that, okay, they made it make sense, but also it's just fucking whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will have some servants who are short. So that's the kind of stuff for future events. All right, we talked about this one a long time. You got any more thoughts about bonus servants, Lucky? I know you were scribbling on that thumbnail in the background, too.
Yep, I'm almost done with it. No, but, yeah, no, you pretty much summed it up.
Okay. Well, let's move on, because we've been going for an hour and a half.
All right, we are making good on that time. So, let's see here.
We have a decent number left.
Yeah.
Most of this is short, though.
Yeah. Thank you, Zed. Just Zed. This next one comes from Classical Climber Commander card. I love alliteration, but sometimes it gets you. But they say,
people are really enjoying Mailbag. I just realized there's so many topical aliases. They get to do all the jokes we do, Lucky.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Great. Dear Lucky the Horny and Omega the Snarky. No question this week, just wanted to tell you both keep up the good work, and I hope to adventure with you and Genshin Impact someday. Well, thank you for all positive vibes. They're always welcome. And Lucky's been, like I said, Lucky's been accepting people. But thank you, Castle Climber Commander card. This next one comes from Man Who Loves Magical Girls, who says, question, hey guys, love seeing the videos. Question is, what story would you like to see an adaptation of after Solomon and Camelot? Personally, I want CCC to bring in better Extraverse story or Holoarexia, as many are missing out on it, and aside the Lost Belt stories getting an anime, who would you like to see first? Thanks again. Now,
CCC could be interesting, but it also has what I believe is a lot of the epic environments actually have very good manga adaptations.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I guess CCC has Seraph does have a manga adaptation, if I remember right.
Yeah, and I don't know if that necessarily precludes them from getting an anime, obviously, but I do know that they didn't do that for, like, Camelot or Babylonia.
Well, like I said, if we're talking specifically FGO stories, well, no. No, not because you mentioned Hollow Ataraxia, which is not an FGO story.
Nope.
And in that case, I would say, give me Prototype. Like I said, in FGO we do have quote unquote prototype servants. There has been some inclinations that we are getting more prototype content. I would definitely like a more solid prototype story. Explain what the fuck happens in anime version.
Sure. Oop, accidentally killed him.
When I make it to sure like that, I'm like, I feel like I missed something.
No, that's just me like, yep, no, I followed you. You said a lot. I have nothing further to say.
Ah, okay.
Well, I don't know for sure if we'll do that or not. This is definitely for FGO seems poll based, so I don't know about that. But yeah, I believe we've gotten manga adaptations of some of the earlier stuff. We've got like 2 though. FGO's just going apeshit with the manga adaptations. They're everywhere. They're running like all simultaneously. I mean, for FGO stuff, before we get into Lost Belts, which they will assuredly do, I would love to see some of the Epic of Remnants animated, like Shimosa. Or I guess Shinjuku. I don't know if Shinjuku would be super action-packed, though, but it could be interesting. Also, I mean, Jolter's not likely to get an animated appearance otherwise. So,
that's true.
That could be fun.
I don't know. I think they could really sell Shinjuku as an urban fantasy.
They could probably do that as like a...
Honestly, if there's any studio that I actually wanted Bones to work on FGO, I would want Bones to do fucking Shinjuku.
Could they do it as a one-hour movie? Shinjuku's not really that long. You could cut some faff out of it. I don't know, though. It does have a decent number of fights. It would be a long movie. Maybe a short series, like 13 episodes.
Yeah, I can see 13.
We still don't know what format. Not Camelot. Solomon's coming in either. Still don't know. But yeah, no. Like, I think I would go for Epic of Remnants first. In terms of, like, general Fate stuff, like, gosh, I'd really... Well, okay. Actually, number 1, first of all, thinking about it, I'd like all the rest of the case files bit, you know, because there's a lot of it. I'd like some more of it. Maybe some of the stuff we missed to get to the good stuff, but also the stuff that comes after the good stuff, because it didn't even end at the ending. You know? Considering it was only like 13 episodes and half of it was original content to set up all the characters. Anyway. That's probably my number 1. My number 2 is I'm like, gosh, guys, I really want to know what the fuck is happening with Strange Fake, and they did that animated teaser. If you could, like, just start that and get back to it later, that could be fine.
Only in Japan will they do, like, a super high budget animation just to show off a hacking light novel.
Yes.
They did this with fucking Ancient Magus Bride, too, which kills me to this day.
I'm actually pretty sure that is planning on coming back for more seasons. But yes, they did the teaser just because they were releasing new content. A really good teaser, too.
Yeah.
Because that studio is really good. Another possible, but I don't think it's done, so that would also be a weird one, is specifically CCC Foxtail, which involves a lot of new characters and plot lines that were cut from the game. So that would be an interesting one, but also, again, much like Strange Fake, that's not done, so... I gotta be honest, I don't necessarily understand why, how, and when they decide to adapt stuff, or adapt stuff that it's adapted, so... Hollow Ataraxia would probably be a bold choice, but I don't... It would be interesting. Also, especially because, God, there's a lot of... If I understand my ratios right, there's a fairly high ratio of fucking in Hollow Ataraxia, because it's all the endings, so... Shiro gets to bone at least every lady at least once. Not counting extra characters.
Also, if I remember correctly, isn't Hollow Ataraxia just as much jokes as it is not? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, so Hollow Ataraxia has a weird time loop story. Where, like, Shiro is basically living the same, like, 4 days or whatever over and over again. Where bad shit happens with monsters. And that's related to some stuff going on with Angry Mango. The Mango. So he's basically, at night, is taking over Shiro's body to do Angry Mango things. So it's got a very, like, weird cyclical between, like, horrible monster invasion story and Shiro's just living his life in a version where Rin accidentally broke the timeline and went, oops, all endings. So, yeah, no, it would be a weird one. I mean, like, talking about Fate Remake, like, I'd put Ufotable doing Hollow Ataraxia above a remake of Fate, but we might as well just refresh it. Also, no, in Hollow Ataraxia, that's definitely not that, though. No. Because, no, Shiro is definitely getting some Sakura and some Rider on the side. Which at least one of those would probably be weird for Rin. I don't really know how Rin feels about Rider, though. Hollow Ataraxia has a lot of things in it. That's where Kaleido Rin comes from. Anyway, like I said, it's a weird one. I wouldn't mind seeing it adapted at some point, but that's going to be one of those weird cases where it's like, okay, what are you actually going to adapt? Because I feel like it's like I said, it's got a lot of skits and moments for filler, because it's a fan disc. It's meant to be like fan service, literally. So it's got the dumb stuff like Hawaiian Shirt Coup. That's where Kid Gil first comes from. Kid Gil destroys you at Hanafuda with his cheat powers. Shit like that. So, but we were talking about a Fate remake. I mean, I wouldn't mind if we let Ufotable pull off the trifecta.
That'd be great.
But that's not a high priority for me.
I will say, though, side note, where's my season 2 of Emiya Family?
Coming, eventually, I think. When's that game coming out?
I should check.
Because I know they are going to localize it. There will probably be some delay because there'll be dialogue and shit, but I'm keeping track of it. I want to keep track of it.
Localize? Alright,
I think we've adequately yelled about that one.
Yeah, so thank you, man who loves magical girls. We move on to Castle Visiting Proto, who says, so I've been rushing part 1 to finish Babylonia Singularity, and probably the biggest sin that scares me is people hating me for skipping story parts. I get people are angry at it, but I must skip so I can play on welfare events. Hi, Santa, and Quetz doesn't give a fuck.
Yes.
I can understand.
You gotta beat stuff. I mean, there's a twofold to this, right?
Yes.
Like we said in this, people angry about it. The story is good, right? Like people there are people who will josh you if you talk about skipping story. I assume though, Lucky, what you're gonna say about the first part is I don't know if people are gonna hate you for skipping story.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. Hate's very intense. People are pretty casual with it, but it's actually hating someone is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But that said, I mean, honestly, to get to finish Babylonia, I know it's got a lot of text, but you could also probably still just accomplish that without skipping story before Christmas this year. But I don't know what your time is like. I had this conversation myself. If you got other shit to do, fine, whatever. If you got to,
probably you've been playing FGO for a while, so I'm curious why you have to skip story to get things done. But again, that's your life. I don't know.
If you haven't had the time to do it yet, like I know there are quite a lot of people in our Discord, some of whom are dedicated players who aren't done with Lost Belts yet, and I've started yelling at them because of the thing we talked about. Where it's like, guys, no, the first big fuck you from the game is coming. Like they're not frequent, but they usually happen at least once or twice a year, where they'll throw out a big event and be like, yeah, no, you need to be caught up for this, buddy.
Gee, ow. So again, I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand why you're in a state where you need to skip story, but if you have to skip story because you need to catch up that fast, no, that's fine.
Well, I'll say this: I yell at you about not finishing stuff is because you want to talk about shit you haven't finished. You're that weirdo. And we're like, just do it. Just do the thing. The text is there.
Also, you were complaining about how it was too hard or the text was too dry for you to finish, so you couldn't get into it.
I'm like, whatever. I've done it already.
And then you want to talk about, ending spoilers and stuff, and all of us are like, Ax, you haven't beaten this. How do you know these things? And you're like, I just read ahead, and everyone's just like...
Don't read ahead, just do the stuff. But no, and I don't yell at Dallas for that, but Dallas was like, I'm not done with Lost Belt 1 yet. And I'm like, ooh, buddy, pal. You're going to want to work on that. One, because I know you're going to want to do Lost Belt 3, and he actually said he wants to be able to do Lost Belt 3, first day, for reasons. And I'm like, well, you better fucking catch up, because guess what? You definitely cannot do new story if you're not caught up on story.
Reasons.
But also, I was like, I'm not kidding, guys. You actually, several people on Discord were shocked. No, you need to do it. It's because Sitanai's in it. Spoilers. But not spoilers, I'm pretty sure, because she's on the banner. But yeah, you need to be done with Lost Belt 2 before you do it. And probably a decent chunk of these you'll need to be done with Lost Belt 3 as a good starting point soon. Anyway. So yeah, that's just, I think, our thoughts on skipping. If you gotta skip, you gotta skip. maybe think about why you have to skip and budget your time better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's... With lost belts, especially, some of those are tough. I could see that being a little bit of a problem, but if you're playing for a while, you should just have stuff, welfares, things, do stuff, free to play.
Like, Lucky is doing a fucking humble brag, but I literally am playing, like, 4 gacha games. I'm about to start my full-time job again, and fucking all that stuff, and I'm still caught up on most stuff. So, I'm not entirely sure where your issue is, but hey, if that's your issue, that's your issue. That's how you gotta do.
I got a phantom window open. I'll have to deal with that later. But no, Lucky saying that reminded me. Oh yeah, I haven't actually logged in Azure Lane today. Was there maintenance? Are we starting a new thing yet?
I think we're starting a small event. Actually.
Yeah, about Eskimo, who immediately got a swimsuit, which I found hilarious. But anyway, that's a what's up question. But I just realized I haven't logged into that today, so I should do that.
But so it's like, again, so no condemnation on you, just confusion.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we do not hate you if you don't do story
or read story.
I don't think I'm even mad about it. Like, I wouldn't even say I'm angry at you. I'm just like, I'm slightly confused because I feel like you've been in the community and you've been playing FGO a long time.
Yes.
But also, yeah, whatever. You do you. This was literally the comment I had about me doing boxes. Like, I could have done more boxes, but I had other shit to do, both in FGO and out of FGO. So whatever floats your boat.
Hang on 1 second. I opened up Azure Lane, and for some odd reason, all audio is going through my headset. So I'm like, what is...
And we're back after that slight interrupt. Sorry, I had to refresh some things. Okay. Where were we? I think we were wrapping up with that question from Castle Visiting Proto.
Yep. So thank you, Castle Visiting Proto, for your issue there. I hope we have laid your fears to rest, or confused you greatly, either or. But we're going to move on to Cahulian God, who says, how's it going? As for my question, would you say is the minimum amount of years for a person of significance to be dead before they become suitable to be a heroic spirit without involving outside factors like counter guardian pack, pseudo-servant possession, or future BB hacking? Also, I have an idea of a server comment I want to tell you, but I'm not exactly where on Discord do I do that. Little Discord experience. So, again, on your first part there is no necessarily...
Yeah, there's not a real cutoff.
Yeah, no. It's, 1, is that person known in the collective unconsciousness that is humanity? 2, is there enough mystery around them that they can be summoned?
Like, technically, Voyager became a heroic spirit right after he quote-unquote died. Like, in 2025. Like, that, there was no gap, as far as we can tell. For other characters, we've had some characters which are basically from around World War II-ish, which is now, getting on 80 years? Though Fate's been around for a while, too, so. Mm. But there's no hard and fast cutoff. I would say if they're from the past half century, the past 50 years, probably think really hard about how famous they are and how mysterious they are, but there's still plenty of open room, It's not, like a lot of things in Nasuverse, frustratingly so sometimes, there's not a hard and fast rule. Just a general rules and regulations.
So, yeah, that's all I think I can really say on that. Yeah. So, thank you, Cahulian God, for your second part. Either put your server concept in Let's Talk FGO, see if people are interested in it, or you can talk about it in OC Creations, where people like to put their own little spin on ideas.
Yes, we've done some different stuff before, but OC Creations is definitely the area for, like, doing any kind of original thing, really.
Yeah.
Like, we've moved that situation around over the years, but yeah, OC Creations is legit. That's not just for art, that's also for writing prompts.
Yes.
And even for, like, character designs, because people have posted, like, art they've commissioned of their characters and stuff there, so. I know it's not a super active channel, but it exists.
It exists. So, yes.
Just remember not to ping us.
Don't ping us. Cahulian God, thank you for your question. The next one comes from alias Dave, Lord and Savior, who says, is it possible for a servant to be summoned with an injury? Like if they're famous for fighting with only one arm or blind or something along those lines, or can only happen in special cases like Betty.
Betty's not a special case.
No. Like, shoot, Beowulf is covered in scars.
I mean, look no further than our great and glorious Okita. That's what weak constitution is. She has tuberculosis.
Nero and Liz have migraine. They literally have pain-numbing...
Well, yeah, Liz's skill in CCC is listed as just mental illness.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. But yeah, no, like, characters will have persistent effects. Tristan has that weird, gross purple poison scar, and he's weak to poison even today.
Yep.
That's like 100% the servant thing. Also, by the way, trying to play the match game while we talk is very hard.
I'm getting an error on mine. It's not letting me complete it. I've done it twice. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else who had any specific illnesses or injuries.
Yeah, nobody's like really leaping to mind, but I know there's a few things that exist. You know, it's a common trope of servants. They keep their strengths and weaknesses from life in Life 2 Electric Boogaloo. So
it's not the perfect example, but Emil Alter is barely hanging together.
Yeah, he because of the way he has so much of Emmy's magic circuit damage.
Yeah. That
he's had to patch up himself.
Moriarty is literally just old, and he complains about it a lot.
Yeah, well, you know, that's that pop culture thing coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's the weird old mastermind, but Holmes gets to look young and hot because he's constantly played by, you know, cool, if not necessarily young, at least young-looking cool dudes. Benedict Cumberbatch? Anybody? Is that show still in the air? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's actually fairly common, and Bedivere is not a special case. The fact that Bedivere has 2 arms is a special case.
Yes.
The if he was normally summoned, the magic arm should not happen. But anyway, weird stuff happened.
Weird stuff happens. So, thank you, alias Dave, Lord and Savior. The next one comes from alias blah 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 Tidal Wave! Dear Lucky and Omega, what's the difference between farming and grinding?
Some would say there is no difference. No, I mean, I think... So, there is actually a definition. For FGO, there's not really a definition, because they come the same way. But, specifically, I believe when talking about video games, when people refer to farming, they refer to, basically, like you'd think of real-life farming. It's, you're cultivating a resource in some form. You're farming for drops, or EXP, or you're gathering something. Grinding is just anything you have to do that's a gradual wearing process. So,
the way I usually say it is farming's for items, grinding's for levels. That's what
that's a fair one. But you can also, I think it's fair to say you can grind, you know, points.
Oh, yeah.
Etc. So, like, there's a couple different kinds of grinding, there's a couple different kinds of farming. In FGO, I think they're practically synonyms most of the time.
Well, yeah, because no matter what you do.
Yeah, it comes in drop form.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Whereas, say, in a game like Azure Lane, there's a huge difference between farming and grinding in some cases.
Oh, yeah.
Which we're only bringing up Azure Lane because I think Lucky and I are both literally playing it off screen right now.
It's a Taiho Truthgram today.
And it's not about food for once. I know that's just, I'm sure, a commentary about social media that Omega doesn't follow, but still.
I will compliment her, and she'll probably get weird, and I'm okay with this.
Taiho's weird, yo.
Shout out to Albacore for pestering Taiho constantly. Thanks, history. So, yeah, no, it's like, honestly, it's your own interpretation. Farming and grinding, since it's basically gamer lingo, can mean basically almost anything you want it to mean. That's the thing about slang and stuff. It means different things to different people. Gamer slang. So thank you, blah, 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 Tidal Wave! I love this alias, by the way. This next one comes from Dystopia, leader of Metal Foes. Hey, look at Mega, what would be your guys' dumb Magecraft names in the Nasuverse? Ooh, a mage. Mage is
there a name generator for this?
I doubt it.
Should be.
There should be. They are weird. If I had the wiki, I would like read some of them out, but I always just think of like Amnisphere, just like this is a wild name.
And Amnisphere is really one of the least bad. Though there were some translations before they got official that were very silly. Olga Mally and Mars Billy. As opposed to Marsbury and Olga Marie. People are weird. But also people thought that Mashu's name was Matthew for a while. Which I would be like, okay, I mean, I know you can do weird things with names, but there's no way that they were that oblivious.
Well, didn't it used to be on a CE? But
yes,
they changed it.
They used it as a spelling themselves, but then they actually, for once in their life, they edited it to just mash. Which, of course, because hey, fun fact, in Japanese, you always end on a vowel unless it's N. It has to be mashu. But that's phenomes, kids. Yeah, I don't really know. That's a hard one because those are just mage names are such a kit bash of like nonsense syllables and borrowed language words. Like, if you gave me a couple of days, I could probably do some research and come up with something stupid, but off the top of my head, it's hard.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. Because usually, mage names usually does have something to do with their family in some weird esoteric way, because fucking Natsu likes playing these fucking games with y'all.
Yeah, and some of them will have, usually they have cores of roots of making sense, like Kadok's name actually, like, it's from a couple different language groups, but it actually, like, makes a certain amount of sense if you do the research.
Oh yeah, like Kadok, his last name is like Wolf Country. Remember? Zemlupus, yeah.
Yeah, and it like he comes from several different language roots, but it makes sense in certain ways. It's just not, natural at all. Ophelia's first name is just Ophelia, which is normal, but that surname is just, as far as I know, just nonsense. Farmer Shlon. And I don't think it actually sounds very Nordic either, considering I believe she's supposed to come from that region. Actually, I don't even know if Ophelia's very Scandinavian either. That's a Shakespearean-ass name. But, then there's like Wodaime's first name, which I'm not even sure I can try and pronounce off the top of my head, because there's way too many K's and C's in it. I'm just like, what is that, though? What is it? I mean, we could always go the Scandinavia peppercino route. Spicy peppers. An obvious alias? Gee, I couldn't tell. That's actually, honestly, you know what? That's probably why Da Vinci has to say that in the intro, that it's an alias, because otherwise, especially people in Japan, but just in general, people wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I can't help you out right away, but maybe I can come back to that one.
Yeah, sorry. Lucky I could throw together like maybe my favorite food and some animals and stuff, but it wouldn't. If I was going to be
Alfarius Omegon, wait, that's not a 1%er, but Lucky doesn't get that joke. That's a 40k thing.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna move on. Sorry we couldn't properly answer you, but thank you for the question, Dystopia leader.
We thought about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to do this properly. So the next one comes from Such a Lust for Resin. Question: Who? I'm sorry. I'm just enjoying that moment.
Yep. Now there's an ellipse in there. There's a line break and an ellipse in the question in the mailbag.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta put a pause in there.
So they say, in your personal opinion, would be interesting candidates for a Grand Avenger, including our current pool of Avengers.
I think we need a pronoun.
Probably. But Lucky will default to something he has been wanting for a while. If I was going to pick a Grand Avenger, I would have Lilith, the original woman, who basically said, "Fuck off, God, I don't want to do anything with this." Got kicked out. And in a lot of legends, is basically the progenitor of the succubus species and of Lilim, who feast upon men because she mad, yo.
And also strangling babies and lots of other weird generic night things. Anyway, hey,
yes.
So I'll make a fun facts time. So first of all, to your question, Grand Avenger. Well, first of all, it's nonsense. No such thing. This is actually confirmed. There are no extra classes in the Grands. There's only 7 slots. It's only the original ones. Now, hypothetically, though, if you wanted me to name a Grand Avenger, I would probably go with, since we go with a lot of, like, originals and sources, I would probably go with our actual man, Angry Mango. Probably not Angry Mango as he know him in his pathetic joke form, but the big, scary, glowy man who you see a lot in Fate, in the original Fate Stay Night, that is. Because that guy is doing his serious All the World's Evils jam, and definitely feels like appropriate. But yeah, no. Other than that, in normal circumstances, that's not a thing anyway. But if I would say do a weird fun thing with your boy Angry Mango, because that's the weird funny thing about Angra is, especially as we see him in FGO, we know that he's super pathetic and useless. But also in Fate Stay Night, he's kind of one of the big deal boys. So
it'd basically be the incarnation. It'd be the fucking Grail Mud.
Yeah, basically the Grail Mud version. Which, and talking about links, Grail Mud is the Grillmud is said to be a lesser version of Tiamat's Chaos Tide.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be some interesting parallels there. Themes, thoughts. But yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. So thank you, Such a Lust for Revenge. I kind of want to... Oh, make it awesome. This guy. Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
I'm still pretty sure people write long questions just so Lucky has to read them.
Yeah, no.
That said, Omega once read an essay in college about the beauty of concise writing, and it's really stuck with him, so God, I wish I remember the title of it, because y'all need some of that in your life. You need concise, Jesus.
So, Lucky is going to trip over his tongue here, but here we go. From Papilio Magia Master pondering Medea Madtrap Minatea, mayhaps preventing perennial querying, says, Salutations! Hope each of your slumber intakes have been satisfactory. In relation to my mailbag from 4 weeks ago about Medea, initially I couldn't track down the source of what I was citing from memory, and I did know about what was discussed in response, was trying to not make a long post longer. However, hearing Omega bring up reversion to the Asian of Gods, not needing magic circuits to do magic sounds precisely like what I remembered in regard to her losses. To utilize that terminology, her paralysis specifically in being ungodly good at magecraft using magic circuits, but at the same time she was alive, people and gods could do crazier and more powerful stuff with thaumaturgy at greater magnitude because they were not bound by the requisites of magic circuits. This may be inaccurate.
Thaumaturgy is magecraft. Anyway, no, sorry, don't stop.
This may still be accurate, but I figured it was worth mentioning since you sparked my memory somewhat. Discuss if there's time. No worry is no, especially if there's JP news to speak of. Thanks for your time.
There was no JP news, however, we are at 2 hours.
Yeah, again, there's actually nothing really to discuss here.
No, you wrote a tiny essay that there's not really anything to talk about, though, other than my slight pained comment about magecraft is thaumaturgy. It's the same thing.
I'm pretty sure
what you mean is the difference between magecraft and magic, capital M.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure Medea is actually pretty good at thaumaturgy too. She literally carries a ritual dagger.
Yeah, she's good. She's good at all the stuff. The fundamental thing that makes Medea good is that because of the rules of servant summoning, she still has access to the high-speed divine words, and that is the thing we are, as far as I know, that is the thing we are talking about when you're talking about her being good at magic stuff. Because she has access to the divine words, it used to be that with magecraft in the olden times, their version of magecraft, which was much more diverse and much less locked in because there were a lot more mysteries to replicate. Like, I think that's kind of the point there, is that magecraft is still the replication of mysteries, whereas magic is the creation of mysteries. So, in the Age of Gods, both were basically unlimited, but they were different things still. But I believe she's good at magecraft because of the high-speed divine words. Basically, she can rapidly say the words of divine, which are the part of the fundamental programming of reality, because divine authority, and just stuff happens. And technically that counts as magecraft, but, yeah.
Anyway, we have one more. So thank you, Papilio Magia Master, Pondering Medea Magecraft, Medea, mayhaps preventing perennial querying. Ow. This last one comes from Alias, sorry, not Gamena sorry.
But, did you, Yamate could have stopped?
This person needs to Yamate could have stopped.
Hey.
They say, hey guys, just wanted to ask a question since you guys are interacting with a greater portion of the FGO content creators. No names needed, but ours are socially awkward boards. Feeling about it at all. Also, just wanted to say that rereading Indeed HIMEJI's voice lines gives me life. I mean, yeah, so we talked about those last week. We did join up.
Yes, there's a little FGO YouTube streamer server. We're in it. Interact is a strong word. It's not a very, I'll be real, and I kind of hope it stays this way. It's not like a super fast server.
No.
It's like pretty casual. I check in, a couple times a day, make sure nothing's going on. Apparently they're planning another round of Among Us, but I don't know if I'll want to be free this weekend because I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, exit, and I hope I ain't breaking the Secret Club rules, but it's not all just about Among Us. There's just casual chats. People have been talking about Genshin Impact.
Yes, Genshin's been very big there lately.
Yeah. I actually looked into it to actually get some info on how to properly stream it because it's a little wonky. So yeah, no, it's a good place. It's a good people. Everyone seems super cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I crack some jokes, people laugh. I'm like, yes, good. I'm in my element now. I am now the funny one.
And if you want to see what they're like and get links to their channels, assuming you didn't find them from us, I don't know. That I did a stream on Sunday, which archived, and you can experience the very groggy Omega.
I played a few games. I didn't play like a super amount on them because I unfortunately only got in when people were starting to wind down, and I had 85 bucks worth of light novels come in the same day. I'm like, no, I gotta read.
Yeah, you're a busy man. No, it's like me Thursday when I had stuff to do. And tonight that I have stuff to do. But anyway, yeah, no, it's fine. The only thing you guys need to know is that Giz is sus. And if you don't get that joke yet, go watch that stream archive. Other than me, my constantly forgetting to turn off my protector that hides you from stream sniping. It's pretty good. I was a little rushed. I think I might have gotten into the call a little late and missed the designated setup time for streaming, but I got it started. But yeah, there you go. Okay. That's a complete mailbag.
Complete mailbag.
And it only took us an hour and a half. Actually, probably a little bit longer. It's probably closer to 45 minutes, because it was about 20 minutes in when we started, and we're like 2:05 right now, 2:06. Anyway, mailbag. And that's why we usually limit it to an hour, though.
Well, unfortunately, we,
Well, yeah, no, the only thing right now in quote-unquote free talk is to talk about what's coming up in October.
Yep.
And maybe comment about other stuff. But yeah, so in general, we've mentioned this all before, but it is October now, and I would like to remind everybody what you can look forward to this month. So the rerun will go for 2 weeks. It'll end the 13th, so it'll go pretty deep. We should then get a week break, basically, for the next interlude campaign. Let me see who would be in that, and if that comes with a summon banner, because I don't remember all these things off the top of my head. Let's see, where are we? Give me the stuffs. I need to go back in time to 2018. Though I gotta be honest, I don't know if I would go back in time in 2018. While the world's a lot crazier, I'm doing a lot better personally than 2 years ago. But October interlude campaign part 7. Hey, I had some of these servants. Yes, actually, there will be a raid up. It will involve Ku Alter and Queen Maeve, and also Kato Danzo. I believe all those units except the 3-star, which is Hozoin, are story locked. So yeah, have fun with that one. That will be pretty good. It's mostly quartz interludes, but there's a couple of skill upgrades and an NP upgrade in there, so that'll be fun. But that'll basically buy us time before Oniland, which is a real boy event. And like I've said several times, you need to clear Gato Damorang, Lost Belt 2 to do it, for reasons.
Reasons.
So yeah, you'll actually want to do that one and get that out. That's going to come with Sitanai, Chiyome, and Ibaraki raid up. And your bonus servants is basically everybody who is short.
Check on that list.
Not necessarily if they're a kid per se, because we've got several squoosh servants, like Wu goes in there, and also regular Da Vinci goes in there. I think that's because right now she is small, and small Da Vinci does not yet exist as a unit, but also actually regular-ass Da Vinci is also super tiny, in case you didn't notice. And in fact, she desperately needs a sprite update, if not an animation update, because Da Vinci Small is bigger than Da Vinci Big, at least in one way. And it's not just the Heelys. But yeah, so there's a wide variety, quite a few of whom are silver or bronze. So hey, you get to flex your Hanses. And they've rerun Bunyan twice, so hopefully you've got one. She's on the list. Along with Cha-Cha and some other welfares. MASH is also included on the list. I don't know if that's just because she's MASH, but she's in there. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. Again, like I said, in JP we have nothing but naked speculation. Obviously, we will probably know next week, just because that'll be... Okay, so when are we recording next week? Pull up my calendar. The 9th. When does the hunting quest ends? The 9th. So it'll be like 12 hours or whatever done already. So, like, theoretically, whatever happens next will happen by the time we record next. Just, we don't know if there'll be any pre-knowledge of it or anything. So we'll probably discuss it if it exists, or if nothing exists, we'll be like, I don't know, but at least we'll have a week's worth of hunting quests to talk about.
Ew.
Was there
we can get some weird speculation in it.
Anything else? No, I think that was everything for free talk stuff.
Well, no, I got a little bit I can talk about.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
finally, after like almost like, it took over a month, but I finally got my fucking, Aniplex Online Fest stuff in. It finally came in.
Hey!
Yeah. So
That's
I finally have
ages.
Yeah. Now, so like I said, I didn't order much. I got the anniversary poster, I got the CE book, and I got me a St. Quartz pin. Now, I'm gonna say right now, I'm a little upset because when I ordered the poster, I thought it'd be actually made out of good damage resistant material. Like when I got the Fate Grand Order poster from SakuraCon, it's not. It's just a flimsy poster paper. I'm like, shit, this is gonna get ripped so fucking easily.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, so I think I might classy my room up. I might put all my Fate posters and stuff in picture frames and become truly the classiest.
Hey, that's a way to do it. People do that with movie posters.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we've got some of that downstairs because we've got kind of a home theater set up in the basement. So there's 6 framed movie posters. And
I'm actually looking at it. I think all my posters will fit the standard poster size. I don't think, because I was actually thinking I might do that with my Fate Extella cloths as well.
Yeah, I haven't hung either of my Extella cloth banners, so
I haven't poked holes in them. I'm literally I use thumbtacks and I basically stick the cloth underneath the between the pin and the stuff, so it's I'm squished in there.
I'm not allowed to use thumbtacks on these walls. They're not my walls.
Really?
Yeah.
No holes in walls.
No, because you gotta patch those later. Listen, my parents have gone through a lot of houses. They're always thinking about resale value. Yeah, they yell at me for touching stuff and getting it dirty. Because we did sell our house and have to repaint all the walls. And I'm like, yeah, no, my feet were dirty in here for 5 years. Whatever. But yeah, no, to put up all my posters, I had to do use sticky strips basically, which I don't know if that'll work on cloth.
Actually, did I use sticky strips? No, I didn't.
Good old command strips. I mean, they're pretty sturdy, but I don't know how the adhesive interacts with cloth.
Yeah, no, Lucky's actually been looking at ways to gussy up his room. Because I went to go, I have to dust off, my bookshelf and figures a lot. I'm like, I don't want to have to keep doing this. So I'm actually
I know that feel. I got a dusty room.
So I have to...
Did we ever tell that story on air?
About
dusting my room? Where, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, you were trying to bait me into buying figures, and I'm like, I don't have any fucking space, and they would just get dusty. And you didn't get me to buy stuff, and you got me to look at my shelf for space, and I was like, God, it's fucking dusty, and I cleaned everything.
And I was all like, oh yes, I'll take this as a secondary win. I made him make it clean. Oh yeah,
I wouldn't say it's that hard, but it's not necessarily easy either.
Yeah, no. I'm looking at my thing, it's I have several bookshelves. I want to actually put, get, little hinges and maybe, little plastic, I don't know, plexiglass,
Yeah, get some clear covers. I know what you mean.
Get some clear covers, and I can just, I can literally just screw them, hinge them in there. And so I can just, go open them up, grab what I need, and clean it. It won't prevent all dust, because as I said, it won't be an actual, airtight system. Because it won't be, sealed, but it will prevent a majority of the dust, so I won't have to clean, I won't have to dust, every fucking week or something.
Yeah, the dust won't just naturally settle inside.
Yeah.
As it does.
But yeah.
Don't ask me how that dust gets all the way up in the air.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. It kills me. It's dust, how do you do?
I know that I'm probably the source of a decent chunk of that dust.
Yeah,
but
what's up with those?
How did you get there? Because I don't go up there. I'm pretty sure I'm mostly shedding skin cells in my bed and in my chair.
Yeah.
Which is why you should remember to wash your sheets occasionally, kids. Don't be grody.
But yeah, so I think I'm gonna get some big old picture frames. I'm gonna frame them up and make my Fate wall even more fatish. I should probably think about maybe buying. Oh wait, no, I'm still waiting on my Azuma mouse pad. After that, I'll think about things. I'm still actually no, that's the topic for what's up. So, yeah. So finally, I got my merch. So I guess now the next merch I'm really waiting from Aniplex is the Blu-ray release of Heaven's Feel 3. Honestly, I wonder. Honestly, the thing is, I'm wondering if they're actually going to wait longer to release that, because even though I'm pretty sure the Blu-ray versions has been pre-planned and set out, they were just literally waiting for the movie release to come out and maybe whatever special features are coming out. I don't know. But
yeah, depending on what special features they got going on, they'll have to do stuff. But I don't know if it's that much of a big deal.
Yeah. I got a lot of books. Like, talking about, like, shelving spaces and stuff. Like I said, Lucky bought, like, $85 worth of light novels and had to stop playing with the other. And I'm just looking at this, like, my shelves are literally starting to sag. I'm just like, I should probably get a third support on there. Because my friend was like, oh yeah, no, the books aren't that heavy. They'll, like, just, the support's on the end will be fine. As I look as, like two of my shelves are bowing noticeably in the middle. I'm just like, So individually, no, these books are not heavy, but let's see here. How many books are on this shelf? Can I count from here? That's 5. That's 6. So that's 11. That's 13. 24. 26. 28. 35. 37. 43. I have 43 books on one shelf. They're all different things, but that's a lot of books. Yeah, no, I need
a lot of books.
I need to go to Home Depot. Not to mention, I think I might just get more shelves anyway.
That's what you do. You always need more storage.
Yes. This is why Lucky literally built his bed frame just to be a giant box.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I paid like $60 for pieces of cardboard to store cards, because I'm like, I'm buying more of them. I'll know I'll need to store them. I can't hide in my old wine box.
Think ahead.
You do a little pre-planning and everything's fine.
Yeah.
But okay, we are now officially grossly off topic. The show is like 2 hours long. We should probably go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get that out.
Yeah. So I already threw out there that I put up the Patreon poll. Our only 2 topics this month are what is homunculus and what are phantasmal species. Some of those together will probably actually cover a few things. Like I said, there may be some other topics that'll be appropriate for a later date, but for now, that's what we're working with. And keep an eye out for those. Feel free to give me suggestions if you got them. Try to, like I said, make them core Fate related. There might be a couple that I might pull out, like I said, because the thing is, it's not a big deal this month, but next month there will only be one topic. So unless I get some good suggestions or ideas that are immediately relevant, we'll get in there. And who knows, maybe like if Phantasmal Species wins. Actually, I opened up the poll earlier today. Let me check on it. Let me see if any of those diligent patrons have voted. See where the wind's blowing already. Well, we got 5 votes, and they're 100% for Phantasmal Species. So that sets a tone. Though obviously there's still like 2 weeks left. I give it plenty of time. But if Phantasmal Species won, as an example, it's entirely possible that could spawn into follow-up questions, as we realize there are lots of big long ones, etc. And we could do more. So that's everything I got for Let's Talk FGO this week. Be sure to check out what's up this week, especially if you are one of those people trying out Genshin Impact. We have both played it. Lucky has played it more than me. I haven't had time doing other stuff, but I will play it more. And we'll talk about it on What's Up and other things. We'll talk about regular things and many other things in general, because that's what What's Up is for. It's for talking about stuff that's not FGO. And not like in that way that like we bring up stuff that's not FGO in the middle of the show, like actually intentionally talking about not FGO things for a lengthy period of time. It's a good time. So after that, stay tuned for other stuff. Still planning on doing regular streams this week. We'll see what we do when we do it. And okay. So I think it's time to do the outro. Gosh, people are typing in spoiler chat off and on, and I'm like, what even are we talking about where? Like, it's not a fast conversation, but I just keep seeing it light up. Anyway, now you know what I was doing when we recorded this. So's it's outro time. Which means I would like to remind you that if you watch this episode on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. You can also hit us up in the comments below. Or you can join our Discord. That link, as always, is in the description. Or on our channel page, as always. We got a lot of channels for a lot of stuff.
A lot of channels.
I mean, I've trimmed out some, but also we've added some. So it's a thing. It's a process. Finding what's comfortable. Sometimes people talk about a topic too much and we need a new channel. Anyway, link is in the video description and on our channel page. Sorry, I have this bad habit of trying to say 2 things at once and it's not physically possible. Yet. Apart from that, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you always get our latest videos. Also consider hitting the bell for notifications even if you're already subscribed so you always know when we post a new video or we stream. Such as when we do weird things at weird times. It happens. You don't know my life. And you can also become a member of this channel. Memberships are open. You can click a join button down there. Get access to emotes and stuff. Badges. Some people have been members long enough to get 2 badges, so I should slyly remind Lucky that he was going to work on badges.
Listen, making stars is hard, I've realized. Especially stars that I want to like.
It's okay. You're working.
Lucky's been working on it. It's just the fact that what he wants to do has been more difficult than what...
Hopefully it will make the end result all the more impressive.
I hope.
I mean, the emotes are fun, and we should get more people to be members so we can get more emotes. But yeah, that's all the channel stuff. But like it says at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You could have gotten this episode in audio format early, downloadable for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year. And at different levels, you can vote in topics. Like at the 5 and up level, you could vote on the poll about Teacher Omega Sensei. You can listen to the show live at higher levels, get shoutouts, etc., and it helps support us and moves us on and pays for stuff. So, that's the show this week. See you next week for more Let's Tech FGO, where maybe we'll have something to talk about. Possibly. Hypothetically. And stay tuned for What's Up, where we always have something to talk about. Alright, bye everybody.
Bye!